Hi everyone, welcome back to my crochet channel. In preparation for this upcoming Valentine's Day, I'm going to walk you through how to make a heart so that you can add it to your projects. This heart is pretty simple and only takes about 10 to 15 minutes to work up. So to make it, you're going to need your stitch marker, scissors, a little sewing needle, maybe a stuffing tool if you have one. And if you want to make a plush looking heart like mine, then you're also going to need some blanket yarn. I'm going to be using Parfait Chunky in the color light blue. And if you want a smaller or a larger heart than what I'm about to make, then you can just change the size of your hook and the size of your yarn to get the size that you want. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with making a magic ring. And you're going to work 6 single stitches into your ring. And now you should have something like this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches in the ring. Now you're going to pull on this piece of yarn carefully, pull it closed. And we're going to work 1 single stitch into the first stitch of that ring. Get your stitch marker here and mark that first stitch that you just made. And that's going to be the start of your new round. So now we're going to start an increase round, which means that you will be working 2 single stitches into each stitch. So we're going to add another single stitch into the one that we just worked in, and we're going to go around the round like that. And now you should have a little circle that has 12 single stitches in it. Now that we have 12 stitches, you're going to take off your stitch marker and you're going to make a slip stitch. We're going to cut off the yarn here, and then we're going to pull through. And then you want to just leave this off to the side. So just ignore this for now and we'll come back to it in a few minutes. Okay, so we're going to repeat the exact same steps that we just did. And once you get to the part that we were just at right before the slip stitch, then I'll tell you what to do next. Okay, so once you're back here, we're going to go ahead and bring back that piece that we put off to the side. And we're going to take off our stitch marker and put our hook through the next stitch of this piece and the next stitch of the piece that we put off to the side. So now you have 2 pieces on your hook. And you're going to bring the yarn around and pull through and create a single stitch so that you're joining these 2 together. This is going to be the first stitch in your new round, so place your stitch marker in the stitch that you just made. And now we're going to go around the whole thing to make a total of 24 single stitches. Make sure that you're keeping count of your stitches while you're doing this because it can be a little tricky when you're joining the pieces together and you might have to backtrack. Okay, so we're at the end of this round. Go back and make sure that you have a total of 24 stitches. So the hardest part is now behind us, now that this is joined together, and we're going to start slowly decreasing to create that pointed effect that we want at the bottom of the heart. So for this next round, we're going to do 2 single stitches and then an invisible decrease. So 2 single stitches and then an invisible decrease. If you don't know what an invisible decrease is, it just means that we're going to put our hook through this back loop of the next stitch and then the back loop of the stitch after that. So now we have 3 loops on our hook. We're going to pull through 2 of those loops and then pull through again. And that's created 1 stitch from the previous 2 stitches that we had. So keep doing that around the entire heart until we have 18 single stitches in the round. Okay, so we're at the end of that round. Now you should kind of be seeing the shape of the final heart that we're going to make. This is going to be the top half of the heart. So this is just the 2 lumps at the top of the heart. I'm going to quickly take care of these threads because they are bothering me. So I'm just going to take my little sewing needle and run it through the center and just pull it through and hide it in here. And that way it's also used as a little bit of stuffing, which we will need in a second. Okay, so the next round is an easy one. We're just going to be doing 18 single stitches, and I will meet you at the end of the round. Now that we've done our 18 single stitches, we're going to do another decrease round. So we're going to do 1 single stitch, place your marker, and then 1 invisible decrease. And once you finish doing that all the way around the round, then you should have 12 stitches in total left. Now we'll do another round of just single stitches, so 12 single stitches in total. And now is a good time to start stuffing, so just pull the yarn so that you have a pretty big gap and you don't accidentally end up closing it. And it's important here to really stuff it firmly so that it really creates that shape instead of just kind of like caving in on itself. So for that reason, I'm going to be using my little stuffing tool to make sure that I'm getting in all the crevices. It's not really necessary to have a stuffing tool though, you can just do it with your finger. Once you feel like you have a good amount of stuffing here, we're going to start the next round, which is just single stitch again all the way around. You're going to do 12 single stitches, and I will meet you at the end of the round. Make sure that your heart is stuffed enough here because after this we are going to start closing it up and you're not going to be able to add any more stuffing. So make sure that you're happy with this. I'm going to add a little bit more. Now we're going to do 6 invisible decreases in a row, and that should leave you with 6 single stitches. At the end of the round, we're going to take off our stitch marker. We're going to slip stitch and we're going to cut off a tail. So the reason we want a tail is because the project is still open, so we're going to use this to cinch the project closed. So you're going to put your sewing needle through each loop of the stitches that you've made, so 6 in total. And then we're just going to pull that tight, but be careful, you don't want the yarn to snap. And then you have your heart. So you can move around the stuffing in there to kind of put it into the shape that you want. If you want more of a definition here between the two halves of the heart, then what we're going to do is we're going to use this tail. We're going to put it through the center of the heart and then go through right before that middle. So pull your needle through. And then we're going to make the yarn come down the middle. So we're going to put our needle through the other side. Just like that. And we're going to pull it tight. I have so many fuzzies flying around. And it really just depends on the yarn that you're using. The definition might be a little bit more obvious in like acrylic yarn. It might even be more obvious in a different kind of blanket yarn that you're using. I'm pretty happy with this, so if you're also happy with your heart like this, then you're going to go ahead and grab your scissors and just snip off that yarn and hide the rest of it. And there you go, now you have your heart. You can add this to your projects like I did with this little guy. You can change the size and color of it so you have like a rainbow of different hearts, whatever you want. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please like and subscribe as it helps out my channel, and let me know if you want me to do more of these in the future. See you in the next video.